with your palate cleansers. Show me what you got.
All right. Welcome into a brand new episode of Audionots, your pop culture palate cleanser. I am Eric Oldboy, online with the infamous Jedi-wielding Ren. I guess you don't wield a Jedi. I don't know what else to say.
Oh, I guess when I'm like force choking them.
Oh, yeah. You shit whip them into each other.
Yeah. It'd be kind of funny.
That's pretty good. So what's going on, my man?
Today I'm rocking my Portland hat because our boy Damian Lillard got snubbed.
He's going Dame time.
He got snubbed.
What did he get snubbed on? What do you mean? Did he not make the starting five?
No, he didn't make it. They announced that he is not starting.
It's so lame. You know what's going to happen? You're going to have the first time ever that someone's not an all-star starter, and he's going to be the MVP of the league.
What was kind of dumb, I didn't realize that there's 3 factors to it, right? So there's fan voting.
Okay.
There's the players voting.
Yeah.
And there's the coaches or something.
Okay. So it's like weighted between those 3.
Yeah, so the coach and the players all voted for Lillard. It was like he got like half the vote, right? It was like 60 to 30. Like he doubled the vote.
Right.
But with the fan vote, he was down by like half, 500,000 votes.
Oh. So he was down by too many to catch up via the coaches and the players poll.
Yeah, and the fan vote, it counts for 50% of the vote.
Yeah.
While the players and the coaches only count for 25 each.
Oh.
So it was tied basically.
Yeah.
And then since Luka had more votes, he won. He wins. Yeah. So
he should be like, you know what? I don't deserve this. I'm gonna let Dame start. You know what's gonna happen? Karma's gonna get him. He's gonna twist an ankle.
I mean, like that dude got a whole country voting for him. You know.
Well, that's what happens every time you get one of these international dudes. But also, people only vote for the names they know because the fans are the biggest dip squats that have ever lived, right? And so they're voting for Kobe to be in there because they don't know. They just know names. They're like, oh, I'm gonna vote for this person that hasn't even been in the league.
Yeah, our boy Carmelo was on the list too.
Yeah, he probably got a lot of votes because he's a name.
Yeah.
People are idiots, ruining everything. But otherwise, I mean, Dame Dollar's been playing out of his mind.
Oh, yeah.
6 in a row. He's like Mr. Clutch, Mr. Dame time, getting it done.
He's become like viral too. Like everybody's talking about him now. Like, so you just now notice this guy? You know?
Yeah, it's because we're in a small market. Yeah. People don't pay attention to the small markets, so that's the problem.
It's like you may hate Stephen A. Smith, but man, once that guy says your name, you're like everywhere now. I was like, wow, that's all it took, huh?
Yeah, he came out and it's like, I apologize. I was wrong. I was wrong.
Yeah,
Dame's the guy.
Yeah.
Dame is the guy.
But other than that, I'm doing good. Thursday, I think I'm going to stay up till midnight tonight to watch Wanda.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. It's not even the last episode though, right?
I know, but dude, I know for sure that tomorrow someone's going to spoil it for me. Like all these bros and broettes out there, they don't give a crap anymore.
You gotta stay off the interwebs, like completely.
I know. I can't, man. I should watch that one movie.
We'll say it's episode 7 that's coming up.
I think so.
Yes. And you told me offline that one of your cousins, uncles, aunts, or somebody had said, hey, there's 9 episodes. And I checked on that, and I think they're right. I think there are 9 episodes. Yeah.
He was right for the first time ever. Nice. Shout out to you, Nick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Nick, you deserve it because I'm pretty sure you're right. I'm not 100% sure, but I did some digging and I saw people talking about that 9th episode. So if Nick's wrong, he's fairly wrong because people all over the internet are claiming this is a thing.
Yeah, because he was like, I can't wait for Doctor Strange to be introduced in episode 9. I'm like, what? We're watching Disney Plus over here while Nick's watching like Disney Plus, dude. How does he know this stuff?
Oh, damn. Nick's from the future. He's like, he's the alternative Quicksilver.
Yeah. So if Doctor Strange comes in episode 9, you're like,
yeah.
So what's the lottery number, Nick?
He might be right though. So let's take a moment to pause and start the healthy stream. So he might be right because I mean, everything I've heard is that the multiverse of madness, Doctor Strange Part 2, features Wanda pretty heavily. So it wouldn't be all that shocking to think that they might have him pop in at the last second on her show.
Right. And they're saying that, Wanda is considered a Nexus being.
Nexus?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Explain.
Which means she's Wanda in every dimension, like the same Wanda. So she exists as herself through all the dimensions.
So when Doctor Strange is going blah, 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 through all the different versions, she's always the same Wanda.
Yeah. So they're
that's
saying
why Quicksilver recognized her, and she was kind of like, "Hold on."
Yeah.
And Darcy's like, "He's been recast."
So meta.
So meta. So to get to the nitty gritty, we didn't talk last week, so we haven't talked about episode 5 or 6. And episode 5 was the one that introduced us to Evan Peters' version of Quicksilver.
Oh yeah.
And episode 6 was the Halloween version where we got to see the kids finally use their powers. So how are you feeling about the series right now?
Dude, right now I'm loving it, man. It's
yeah.
Like for me, the Halloween one, I love that one too, just because they took the Halloween aspect and pay like tribute to their old school comic book outfits. Man, I love that so much.
So good. I loved it too. Plus, like you said last episode, Elizabeth Olsen is like growing on you. And man, when she was in that old school Scarlet Witch outfit, I was like, ooh, and she's making all the funny faces and doing the little dances, all the stuff we've seen. Like somehow people already had like moving gifs of. I'm like, yeah, I get it. She is, she's pretty cute.
Yeah, she's climbing up my charts, man.
Yeah. She's using that Scarlet Witch on you, making you think you like her. Maybe you don't. She's controlling your reality.
Yeah, so you're saying that the last episode, you're saying Evan Peters was the cameo. Do you think he's a cameo, or is there another bigger cameo?
I still like to believe that there's another bigger cameo, but I could be wrong. What do I know? Why not?
Well, because like we were saying, we already knew that Evan Peters was already cast for the show, so he couldn't be the cameo, right?
Yeah, but it's hard to say because if I'm arguing my own reasoning, it's possible that Elizabeth Olsen doesn't know how fanboy the fanboys can get, and she just assumed nobody knows that he's going to be in it. So when she said, "Oh, it's on the same plane as Luke Skywalker," she's like, "Well, Quicksilver is a big deal because not only is it Quicksilver, but it's the multiverse, X-Man Quicksilver." And in her mind, maybe that's what it is. But I'm still hoping that there's going to be a bigger cameo.
Yeah, I think
and it could be that Doctor Strange, could be Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Dude, what if they keep guessing who Reed Richard is?
Yeah.
What if hear me out. What if they cast Kick-Ass as Reed Richards?
That would be like she'd be looking at him like, what the heck? He used to be my brother.
Yeah.
So in another universe, he's Reed Richards. That would be so weird. I don't know. You think they could get away with that and not mess with the average fan's mind too much?
I mean, they're already messing, and she did say kick ass in the show,
She did. She said, I spotted them like, oh, no, that's super meta. She's like, kick ass? And I mean, she like stops like kick ass?
Yeah. They're like focused on her. I'm like, oh, snap.
Yeah, I loved it, man. There were so many good things. You noticed that when they did the cut scene back to them as kids themselves, Wanda and Pietro trick or treating, and they looked kind of like Scarlet, or excuse me, they look like the Black Widow, and Nick Fury.
Yeah, I saw you tweeted that, and then our Audionots are like, no, it's Mantis because she had like.
Yeah, because she had two. They don't look anything like Mantis. She looks like goddamn Black Widow with like two little antennas. Yeah.
Black
Another
Widow
guy has a
cosplay.
freaking patch on. When does Mantis hang out with Nick Fury? But Nick Fury and Black Widow hang out all the time.
What if it's Mantis and Thor because he has the patch eye?
Oh, that's a good guess.
I don't know. No, that's bad. That's too much. It's too far in the future.
You've gone too deep.
Yeah.
it's probably nothing, and we've as fanboys we've just made it into something that it wasn't.
But ain't that the beauty of WandaVision though? It's just kind of like you're analyzing everything. Like, oh look, this represents this, you know?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, well,
Dormammu. You know, like what the
well, they've made it into that. They want you to do that. So
Yeah.
like they had to think of a lot of things, but you know, as the fans are looking at it, we're like discovering new things and making up new scenarios that probably don't exist at all. Because you're right, that's the whole purpose of the show.
Yeah, it's like every fanboy's dream because we always theorize like a lot of fan theories, and this is like provoking that. Like, I dare you to fan theory. Okay.
And we're like, oh yeah, it's on. Let's get that fan theory.
What if like no, we know that they're gonna introduce Reed Richards, right? Because they keep hinting it.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be in this show, but there's a lot of people thinking that it might be because
Yeah.
she did mention knowing the engineer or whatever it was, the
Yeah.
nuclear engineer. And so everybody's like, oh, it's going to be Reed Richards. And so, yeah, a lot of people are thinking that might be what happens because they have said the Fantastic Four is coming.
What if like this is like totally out there? Don't quote me on this, but what if we have Randall Park as Reed Richards, and then he shows up, like, hey, what's going on? Why is there another me over
Randall
there?
Park?
Yeah, and then Jimmy Woo is like a cruel disguised as Randall Park's character.
Wow, you're going way deep.
Yeah,
I love it.
they couldn't get John, so they got what's next best thing.
They just like straight Office us. Like
Yeah.
I tweeted that on our Twitter account that everything goes back to the Office when it comes to the universe.
Yeah, I can't wait though. So I'm gonna stay up tonight and watch
Nice.
it just so I won't get spoiled. I
Nice.
feel like it might be a good one. That's why.
I'm too old to stay up tonight, but you can tell me tomorrow if anything good happened without spoiling it. So yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait. It's such a good show. Like it started off and everybody was like, "Oh, I don't know." Even I was
Yeah.
kind of like, "I don't know," and it's like, okay, I get what they're doing. I really like it. The only thing that could have possibly made it better is if I could have binged the whole damn thing.
Yeah. Still stand by. If you haven't watched yet, just wait.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If you haven't seen it at all, just watch the whole thing at once. Because I was recommending it to some people that don't really follow this stuff as much, and they were starting to watch and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't like it. And like, oh, you have to be a Marvel fan, I think, to like this show.
It's when my little sister came to me and she's like, "Hey, the Flash is on Wanda." I'm like, "The heck? What are you talking about?"
She's talking about Quicksilver.
Yeah, and I was like, "No, she's not. What are you looking at?" She's like, "This guy." And I'm like, "Oh, it's Quicksilver, fool." You know. And I was like, "Dude, you just ruined it for yourself."
You know what's funny if you want to get extra meta about the whole Quicksilver thing is you realize that both Quicksilvers were in Kick-Ass. The movie Kick-Ass featured both of those actors.
Yeah.
And if you want to get even more meta than that, Kick-Ass was originally a Marvel comic.
Damn.
But it's not part of the MCU. So it's like, whoa, now I'm really tripping. Could maybe that same characters be part of the metaverse? And you could really dig deep if you wanted to, because if you want to fold it all into one universe or multi-universes.
You're saying Nick Cage is also
What was his name?
Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Blaze, but what was Nick Cage's character in Kick-Ass called?
Yeah, the Batman dude.
Yeah, the Batman wannabe. It was a funny name too. It was something Dad, right? Or
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, yes, you did it. Yes, for the win, Big Daddy. Yeah, Big Daddy and Ghost Rider. Multiverse.
Damn, hella meta. It'd be so cool if like Doctor Strange did that though. Just to do it.
Yeah, why not? Why not have fun with it? It's movies. It's based on comic books. It's supposed to be silly and fun. Why not?
Give me maybe like the extended edition. Like you see it. What?
Yeah, when he's like flipping like this, doing one of his things, they could just fly by some stuff like really quick where you have to pause it to see it.
Yeah, that'll make like fanboys go nuts.
Oh yeah, they'd go Audionots. So, also on Disney Plus, I got some other news. Some of it's a little old because we've been off a while, but Gina Carano, Cara Dune from The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah.
She got herself canned. She got herself canned off of not only The Mandalorian, but from Lucasfilm completely. and it's a bummer on her part because she had her own series getting ready to come out because we were believing that she was going to be the star of her own Star Wars show, and now I think that they're going to recast her. I don't think they're gonna. I'm curious. Do you think that they'll recast Cara Dune, the character? Like, is Cara Dune big enough to even care about, or can they just forget Cara Dune ever existed and like, oh yeah, she got killed on the spaceship on planet something something?
Yeah, I think they don't need a recast at all. What do you think they're gonna cast, like Ronda Rousey to replace her or
Yeah, I
something?
hope not. I kind of hope that they're past the wrestlers. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're taking away her freedom of speech and doing this, and it's cancel culture. Cancel culture. I keep seeing that on the interwebs, and I'm like, is it cancel culture or is it consequence culture? Because you know, Disney is not the government; they're a company, and if you decide to break their policies, they can say, "Yeah, you don't work here anymore." They didn't cancel her. They just said, we, it's our freedom. We don't have to keep employing you.
Yeah, I feel like cancel culture is just the easy way out. It's like she.
Yeah,
I don't agree with cancel, and everyone's like cancel culture.
and it's okay to agree or not agree with people, and everybody does deserve their own opinions and things like that. But there are consequences when you say things in today's society, and so everybody acts as if having to suffer any kind of consequence means you're being canceled. That's not always the case. I mean, maybe
Right.
sometimes, but in this particular case, I'm not all that sad about it because I really don't care too much about what she said one way or another. She's a terrible actress. I
Yeah.
mean, the worst.
Yeah. Like her lines are so minimal, and you're like, okay, it's so minimal, but yet you're still such a bad actress. Like, just
Such a bad actress.
yeah,
She was like, they had to like have her just kind of like sit there and rattle them off as best she could because she was like still reading. She's probably a decent wrestler, but not a good actress. And I'm like, come on, we're better than this.
wait, she's not a wrestler though.
Oh, MMA fighter or whatever the hell
Yeah,
she is.
Dan, you just offended her. Sorry, Gina.
That's true. MMA is real fighting, whereas wrestling is pretend fighting, choreographed fighting.
Yeah, I think she won championships too, or some shit like that.
Did she?
Yeah, like belts or whatever they call it. I don't really watch
I don't think I've ever seen her fight. I've definitely seen Ronda Rousey fight, but I've never seen Gina Carano fight.
Yeah, she back then she was like fit. Right now she's kind of like thick buff.
A little thicker. Yeah, she's, as we say, fat buff.
Yeah, and back then she was like slimmer and athletic.
Wait, maybe I did see her. Didn't she have some? What was her nickname? Did it have something to do with like being a machine or something?
Oh, you're thinking about American Gladiators, because they brought it back.
She was on American Gladiator too.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was thinking. Oh, there. I thought she had a nickname when she was an MMA fighter. But maybe I'm thinking about somebody else. Did she used to wear like the cornrows? Was she a cornrow girl?
I think so.
Yeah, a lot of the MMA ladies rock the cornrows, like a bunch of like Snoop Dogg, Tupac's out there. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Also on Disney, not necessarily Disney Plus, but it's been announced that they are going to bring Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, the comic Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, as an animated TV show, which now has Diamond White voicing the lead role of Lunella Lafayette. And let me ask you, have you ever even heard of Moon Girl and the Devil Dinosaur?
This whole segment that you just said, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So Disney also obviously has other channels other than Disney Plus. They have Disney Animated, or XD, I think they call it. And they have just the Disney Channel. It's like cable stations. And so on Disney XD, they're bringing out a brand new animated series called Moon Girl and the Devil Dinosaur. And it's based on a Marvel comic book that's part of the MCU. So It is part of the MCU. And Moon Girl is, what's unique about her is she's I think either a middle schooler or early high schooler, and she doesn't have any superpowers herself, but she's incredibly smart. And so Devil Dinosaur is a really old comic character from the Jack Kirby, Stan Lee early days. And the writer of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur really liked the idea of bringing back some of these old characters nobody thought about anymore. And so Moon Girl, being kind of a sciencey genius, creates this like portal into time and pulls the devil dinosaur into future days. And the devil dinosaur, he's the one with the powers. He's a big old dinosaur that can do stuff, shoot things, and has laser eyes and all sorts of cool stuff. And so, but because she's the one that brings him into her timeline, she kind of controls him, and that's kind of that. They're like a superhero duo with the dinosaur being controlled by her.
Oh, nice.
I looked up the illustrations, the artwork, and it's really well done. So I think though it's based for younger audience. So Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur I think are for the younger folks, but the illustrations in the comic were pretty cool. In fact, I came this close to buying one. I went and looked to see if they had compiled them into a graphic novel on Amazon, and sure enough, they did. And it's less than $10, and I almost bought it, but it said ages Y7 to 13 or something. I thought, okay, I like the artwork, but not enough to read a little kid's book.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, looks. I mean, it's decently drawn. I like the style.
I feel like if they do like a live action, that little black girl from Blackish.
Oh yeah, she would be
perfect.
perfect.
Yeah.
Diane from Blackish.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite characters on that show. The show's gotten real stupid, but she's pretty good.
Cool.
Cool. Over on Hulu.
Hula.
I watched a movie we talked about a long time ago. I noticed it was on Hulu, and I thought I'd give a quick review. I watched The Tax Collector. So The Tax Collector stars Shia LaBeouf and a newcomer named Bobby Soto. And the movie itself it's fair to middling. I think that I'd give it a solid 5, right in the middle. It's neither genius nor terrible. It's directed and written by David Ayers, and people may recognize that name from like Training Day. I mean, this guy's made some really good movies. And he
Suicide Squad? No.
Suicide Squad? Yep.
Is it?
Yep, that's right.
Oh, damn, I know directors. See?
Yeah. The Suicide Squad. He also did Bright. Remember we talk about Bright a lot? That Netflix one with the trolley people.
Yeah.
And End of Watch. He directed that. So I mean, this guy's made some movies. And so I thought, oh, this is gonna be cool. You know, I like Shia LaBeouf. The concept is really simple. So the plot, real quick, is Shia LaBeouf and Bobby Soto are a couple dudes that work for like a Hispanic gang, and they go around collecting the money, the tax. They're the tax collectors on all the different gang members in the different areas, and they all have to pay a tax on all the drugs they sell. And as the movie progresses, a bad guy comes up from Mexico and starts challenging them on their territory. And of course, all things go awry, and it ends quite badly for them.
Nice.
but it was well acted. It was well filmed. But the plot in general was kind of just really simple. You know, it's almost too simple. That didn't give us enough, I think, and that's why it wasn't a higher review. And I still can't figure out how, because I had read before that Shia LaBeouf got a freedom to do this part because they said in the story that he was raised, you know, in East LA, and that made him, because he totally looks like a Hispanic dude. He's got the thing, the little beard piece, and he's like even has an accent. So he uses the slang a little bit. But they never once, I've seen the movie now, they never once mention it at all. So how he didn't get hit with appropriation, I don't know.
Yeah. He's not Hispanic.
I'm like, this is a little white Jewish kid. What's going on here?
Yeah.
It was kind of funny because I don't know if you know the story, but Shia himself is a little bit of a Looney Tune. And even though he never once takes off his shirt and shows like his abdomen, because his character's name is Creeper. So they're like, whoa, Creeper, you know? And he got the word Creeper tattooed on his abdomen, huge, like his whole belly says Creeper now. And he never even showed it in the movie.
Wait, but he tattooed in real life?
Yeah.
Oh my God. He's a method actor, I guess.
Method, super method. So to become like, he wanted to become Creeper, and he looks the part. He doesn't seem all that intimidating because I'm not sure how big of a dude Shia is, but he's got the suit on, and he was like always wanting to kill somebody. So that was kind of entertaining. But the thing I really liked about the movie is the actor Bobby Soto, who is the main character. I'd never seen him before. I'm like, this guy's pretty good. And so I looked him up, and this is one of his very first films forever. And so he was actually just a regular dude. This is like the dream of everybody who wants to become an actor. He was a regular dude. He wasn't trying to become an actor. He wasn't going out for parts. He just happened to be going to this dojo where he would practice his karate, straight up like, Cobra Kai style. And in his karate class, David Ayers, and they became friends. And David said, "You know what, man? I think you could be an actor." And he made him the star of this movie. And he's good too. Yeah, he deserves a chance. He was a really good actor, so he deserves to get some more parts. So good on David Ayers. At least this movie hopefully will turn out another big time actor, because the kid has like star potential written all over him.
You're saying David Ayer knows karate?
Yeah. Yeah, he knows the karate. It's funny too, because when you read his Wikipedia, because I'm like, I gotta learn more about David Ayers, and so I'm like, what's with this white guy constantly making movies about Mexican gangs? He made Training Day about black gangs. I'm like, what's he know? Because he's like born and raised in Minnesota. I'm like, what the hell? And he spent a couple summers in East LA with like some family members, and he became just infatuated with it. And at that point, he just started making every one of his movies became a little bit Boys in the Hood.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Are you like me, where every time they say the movie title, I'm like, oh, there it is. Like, I'm the tax collector, I'm like, there it is.
We're the tax collectors. Yeah. You're like, oh. No, I don't. I think I do that a little bit. Probably not as much as you.
I do it all the time.
You're just waiting to hear it. We want to hear them say it.
Yeah, some people don't know about it, but once you know about it, they say it all the time.
Yeah, you start, I guess if you're really looking for it, you start to like notice it. So my next thing I want to talk about is we both discovered this hidden gem on Hulu. Yeah. And it came up and we're like, we're going to watch this thing. And so it's called The Hunt for the Wilder People. And it's written and directed by Taika Waititi. And that's what kind of turned me on to wanting to see it, because I'm like, man, Taika sure does some good stuff. And one of our other friends had mentioned to us that this was a good movie. And I really like Jojo Rabbit. And of course, I like Thor. And so I wanted to see what this was about. And holy crap, this is an amazing movie. And if you haven't seen Hunt for the Wilder People, you've got to see it.
Yeah, highly recommend. You like talked so much about it that you made me want to watch it, and I watched it.
It was good, right? So like the basic premise is simple. It stars the kid from Deadpool, the little fat kid, little New Zealander kid.
Yeah.
Deadpool 2, right? He's in Deadpool 2. So the fat kid from Deadpool 2 and Sam Neill from Jurassic Park. And the Deadpool kid is kind of like just a juvenile delinquent. And so foster care ends up dropping him off with Sam Neill and his wife, and they're kind of like real outdoorsy, living in the bush, of what they call in New Zealand.
It's like the boonies in New Zealand.
Yeah, the kid even says at one point, "It's the jungle," and they're like, "That's not the jungle, it's the bush." And so as the movie progresses, he becomes really good friends with the Sam Neill character, and they end up on the run due to a bunch of circumstances from the police and the foster care lady. But the way this movie is written and all the dialogue is just so funny. It was absolutely murdering me. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, for me, I wasn't like laughing out loud, but I was just like laughing throughout the movie,
Yeah, it was killing me. I was watching it in segments because I decided I'm gonna watch this during my lunch breaks. And so the movie is I think $1.40, and I was watching it in like half-hour increments. And so it was like the funniest TV show I'd ever seen. I watched it over 4 lunch breaks, and it was just dying because every one of them was getting me. And I was looking up some of my favorite quotes. I wanted to make sure I said it right. But this one
wrote it
really
down?
Yeah, this one I have to share this one so everybody understands how funny this movie is. So the fat kid's name is Ricky Baker, and he's being chased by the foster care lady. Her name is Paula. And so she's chasing him, and he ends up on one side of a ravine, and she's on the other side, and she can't quite get to him. And so Ricky Baker says, "I'm never going to stop running." And she's like, "Yeah, and I'm never going to stop chasing you. I'm relentless. I'm like the Terminator." And Ricky goes, "I'm more like the Terminator than you." And Paula says, "I said it first. You're more like Sarah Connor. And in the movie too, but before she could do chin-ups." And it was just so funny to me. I was just dying because it was such a stupid line, and it was there's just so much like that. I loved it.
Well, it's kind of funny because like it happens out of content, right? Like
Yeah.
they have this like super serious chase scene, and all of a sudden it's like it goes into that. You're like, whoa, what's going on? And it's hilarious. Yeah.
And Taika makes an appearance as a pasture or something.
Yeah.
And he has those really funny lines where he compares like the heaven to like getting to drink a lot of Coke Zero and Fanta and stuff. It was just really funny. He's talking about how there's the door, then there's the other door where Jesus is behind that door, and everybody's like, "What's behind the second door? Is it Jesus?"
And then the kid's like, vegetables? No, not vegetables.
He's like, "What's the opposite of Coke Zero? Vegetables?"
At the beginning where he meets the mom.
Yeah.
He calls her auntie.
Auntie, yep. Auntie and uncle.
And then like she's like, "Are you hungry?" She's like, "Of course you are. Look at you."
It's pretty funny. They make all sorts of like fat kid jokes at him. But, like the one that really got me is he's like, "He's molesting me," because they accidentally think that the uncle is molesting him when he's not.
Yeah.
And so he's like, he doesn't want to turn himself in at the end. So he's like, "He's molesting me."
I think because I watched this with my wife and she's a huge Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah.
And so there's one scene where they're chasing them. They're like hiding behind this tree, just like in Lord of the Rings. And he like mouthed it to him like, "It's like Lord of the Rings." And then Jurassic Park guy's like, "What?" And he does like the hand motion. Like, it was such a serious scene. And you thought that it was like something serious, but then it was like, wait, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's so good.
Funny, man.
So good. So I think, everybody who's listening and has never seen this movie is like, I don't know. But I guess the thing here is that Taika really just has really a good sensibility of comedic timing. His jokes are funny. He manages to blend in like real sincerity and then come out of nowhere with these lines that you would never see. And that's I think what makes him super successful. So everybody out there who's got a Hulu, go watch this movie. It's really, really funny. It was made in 2016, and so it's been out for a while. The fact that we've all kind of been sleeping on it is sad.
It's also on Netflix too. Our buddy said he watched it
on Netflix. Well, there you go. Then there's no reason why you guys aren't watching it. So The Hunt for the Wilder People, Taika Waititi movie, came out in 2016. It's a winner. So if you're bored, you got an hour 40 you want to spend doing something that you're going to enjoy, I highly, highly recommend this movie. If you like Jojo Rabbit, so this is definitely more on the Jojo Rabbit side of humor than it is on the Thor, side of humor, the Ragnarok side. That's a little bit more slapsticky and superhero-y. This one I think is way funnier than Jojo Rabbit. Jojo Rabbit's the more current one, and it's got a lot of accolades and things like that. But I really thought The Hunt was a great movie.
The Skur life. I didn't choose the Skur life. The Skur life chose me. How do you say that? Skur?
And then he names his dog Tupac. And at one point he pulls out the gun. He's like, "It's getting gangster in here."
Just got real.
Shit just got real. So good. I'm gonna watch it again. I'm not even lying. I'm gonna watch this movie almost immediately again. It's so funny. It's become one of my favorites.
It's funny because when he said there's I didn't choose the Skur life, the Skur life chose me.
Yeah.
In Thor Ragnarok, it was that line, Skur line was used too, like Skur life. Oh. So all the Wilder people were like, "Oh shit, Easter egg, let's go."
I love it. Yeah, and Taika uses the same actors over and over again because the foster lady was also in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So he recycles his actors because he's a real New Zealander, and so he's been really good about taking these New Zealand people and putting them in other films. In fact, I was reading about this movie that it's the highest grossing New Zealand movie ever because for whatever reason the Lord of the Rings movies didn't count. There was something they didn't qualify for being an actual New Zealand movie, and so The Hunt for the Wilder People takes the award for that.
Well, because Wilder People takes place in New Zealand.
Yeah,
You
maybe
know,
that's
Lord of the Rings Lord of the Rings was shot in New Zealand, but it wasn't New Zealand.
That's true. That's true. We want to hear another. Here's a real fun, hot Taika Waititi take that nobody knows. You ready for
Ooh,
this?
fun fact.
He wrote the original draft of Moana.
No way.
Yeah, yeah. So Taika's been on fire for a while. They ended up adjusting it and changing it a little bit from his version, but yeah, he wrote the OG draft of the movie Moana.
Damn, we want the Taika cut now. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh my God. Should we start that trend right now? The Taika
Taika's-
cut of Moana.
Yeah.
You're like, if we're gonna give us Snyder's Justice League, we want Taika's Moana.
Yeah.
You know, it'd been way funnier. That's a good movie though. And so, but yeah, other things people should be watching from Taika is What We Do in the Shadows. I looked to see if we could find it. It's not streaming anywhere, the movie version, but the television version, he made it into a TV show, is on Hulu, and it has the same kind of deadpan humor. So I recommend it.
know.
And then Shark versus Eagle was another one I really want to see, and I can't find that streaming anywhere either.
Damn, you gotta buy it.
Yeah, I'm
rent
just gonna
it?
wait. It'll come out eventually somewhere. So over on Amazon Prime, I only have one a hot piece of news. They are working on. Hold on, wait, is that right? Oh, you know what? I don't have anything for Amazon Prime.
Fake
I had
news.
so much. I had so much for HBO Max that I had to push it in some of it in the Amazon Prime column. So yeah, Amazon Prime, they got nothing going on this time. HBO Max though has a lot going on. In
Oh,
fact, they have a
no.
lot of animated stuff going on too. So we're gonna start with the animated stuff and then move down through it. They are bringing up season 2 of Close Enough. Do you remember that one? That was the JC Quintel, JG Quintel. You know, the guy that made the regular show.
Oh yeah. The
Did
one
you-
that has 2 episodes in one episode.
Yeah, did you watch
Yeah.
that show? It was
Yeah, I
good,
did.
right?
Yeah, I like
so
that.
season 2 of Close Enough drops on the 25th of this month. So what is today? Today is the 18th. So really close. So I'm excited for that. I also have another quick review on HBO Max. I watched the movie The Little Things. It's one of those ones that, you know, HBO is doing the whole theater HBO Max at the same time stuff. So this is one of those movies.
Oh, really?
It's called The Little Things. It stars Jared Leto and Denzel Washington along with Rami Malek, Mr. Robot himself. And it's good, but not great. So I enjoyed it. But anybody who's ever seen the movie Seven, this isn't the exact same plot, but it is just dripping with the same vibes. So if you like the movie Seven, you'll like The Little Things. It's just not quite as good. I would give it a 6.5. So it's a decent enough watch, especially if you're already paying for HBO Max.
Right. If you saw in theaters, what would you rate it?
If I saw it in theaters, you know what? It's probably stay the same, but I've been
Same.
like, oh man, I can't believe I spent, $50 to go see this in the theaters, because it's a decent movie, really well acted. The pacing's pretty good, but it's just kind of like, oh, okay, I saw that, I'm good.
And you said $50 because you got to include your wife, the
And my popcorn, the soda
drinks?
that's as big as your head. Yeah, you got to get the bladder buster drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's always $50. But here's one of the newer animation. Well, they have a few different animated series coming out on HBO Max. The first one is, did you ever watch Clone High when it was on MTV?
Lone High? No.
Clone High. So Clone High was really popular, kind of underground afterwards, right? So it didn't do well enough to stay on for more than 1 or 2 seasons on MTV, but they're reviving it on HBO Max. So Clone High, the revival, is officially happening with a 2-season order on HBO Max. It was created by Bill Lawrence and Phil Lord back in 2002. Clone High was one of MTV's early forays into adult animation. The reboot was announced as a development as of last July, almost 20 years after the first one was canceled.
Wow. That long, huh?
Yeah.
It only took COVID to make it happen.
Well, I feel like HBO is all in on the adult animation, which I'm totally down with. And because of that, it makes me super excited for this next idea that they're producing, because it's just so out of bounds, off the wall, that I'm like, let's go. So HBO Max is making Velma, about the origins of the Scooby-Doo mainstay, Velma Dinkley. Did you know her last name was Dinkley? That's like a hot trivia fact. They'll come up one day and you'll know it and you'll win. And people will be like, how the hell did
Dinkley.
you know that her last name was Dinkley?
And then, have you guys heard of Audionots? No.
Velma Dinkley, an original and humorous spin that unmasks the complex and colorful past of one of America's most beloved mystery solvers. You know what the best part about this is? Guess who's voicing Velma?
Do I know her?
Yeah, I mean, she's a well-known actress.
Mila Kunis.
Ooh, that's a good guess. Think a little bit more outside the box.
Give me a hint.
She starred in The Office.
Oh, Kimmy Schmidt?
Nope. That was a good guess too. Mindy Kaling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I can totally see it because she has a pretty Velma-y type voice. So yeah, Mindy Kaling has been brought on board to be the voice of Velma herself. So that's pretty exciting.
You think Velma is like one of the most like fanboy, you know, when they have like a crush on anime characters?
Yes. Right. Yeah.
I think she's one of like the
Yeah.
top 10 or something.
Yeah, she's the original SJW. You know, everybody's like, I like them bottle Coke glasses, lady. Because yeah, people love them some Velma. There's been a lot of versions of Velma. I've seen a lot of pretty nice cosplays of Velma.
Yeah.
That's impressive. So I'm excited to see what HBO does with this. It's gonna be pretty cool. You know, it's funny as we're talking about HBO Max, an HBO ad just popped up from HBO Max on my thing for my very next subject, Mortal Kombat.
Oh, like it knew.
It's somehow it knew. Probably heard us talking about it. So I'm gonna let you tell everybody about this one because I know you're a bigger fan of the Mortal Kombats than I am. So tell me what you thought about the Mortal Kombat trailer that's coming out on HBO Max.
Yeah, so I saw it like 10 minutes after they released it this morning.
Nice.
And as I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, dude. I'm gonna have chills, baby.
You got chills.
Yeah. I got chills. I loved it, man. I love the fact that it was rated R and they made it like rated R.
Yeah, they made it legit Mortally Kombat-y.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't afraid to pull any punches. No pun intended.
Yeah. And they're like, you know, finish them. And these show like a lot of fatalities, a lot of blood. Kano gets his like OG finishing heart thumping. You know, it's like very fan tributed.
Yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for this movie?
Like a 10, dude.
Oh, you're a solid 10?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I got chills, baby.
Okay.
Dude,
You got
so
chills. Okay, let's take 2 steps back. You got chills. You're excited. You're clearly a Mortal Kombat fanboy. Do you honestly think this is going to be a good movie?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to check.
Because like, you know, the first movie, man,
Yeah.
that's the OG, man. We love that when we were growing up. And if you watch it now, it's cheesy as heck, but it's kind of like a what do you call it? Like a classic now for us.
Right. It's a cult classic at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, because
so bad it's good.
Yeah, my age group, we grew up playing, you know, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, all the Mortal Kombats up to where, you know, they went 3D.
Yeah.
And so it's like a tribute to us. And I remember when I was a kid, my my mom would take us to the laundromat because we were like poor, you know.
I hear that.
Yeah. And they had arcades in the laundromat. And I was like, this is so perfect. You know, you're getting quarters, putting in the laundromat. Why not have arcade? And they had like Mortal Kombat 3 in there, and we were always just like playing it too.
It's funny to me, like offline, we were talking about this, and I'm like, I don't know, this movie's gonna be trash. And you got all defensive. You like immediately, like, well, it's not your generation. You don't remember it. And I wanted to let you know, I went and searched to make sure I wasn't dreaming this. Mortal Kombat came out in 1992, so it was very much my generation, and so I grew up on Mortal Kombat too. It never had much of a plot. I mean, its whole premise is kick the crap out of each other and do it in the most glorious, gorific style possible. So that's what always failed with the movies, is because they became just gore fest and cheesy and stupid. So maybe because the first one wasn't, they tried to appeal to the PG-13 audience. Maybe this one will make up the difference of the really bad acting and stupid plot with like lots of guts and gore.
Yeah, I feel like this one, the trailer, they showcase a lot of like Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
Yeah. What did you think about those versions? Are you excited about that?
Yeah, they look dope, and they're I feel like they're gonna get like a quick origin story because you can see them as their old like Japanese self.
Yeah.
And then later on as the ninja self.
Right. And you get to see how Jax gets his metal arms.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? I didn't know that is that brand new? Like, is that how he got his metal arms the first time?
It's a different take. The director said that usually it happens different ways, but then he wanted to,
that's his version of it.
Yeah, incorporate it into this movie, and that's his version of it.
And what's really crazy about his version is that he cast Steve Harvey to be Jax. I thought
you seen those
bold.
photos?
That was a bold move.
Steve Harvey got on the like Marvel workout and got jacked.
He got jaxed. Yeah, genius. Good on you. So that's awesome. I can't wait for us to give a review of this movie because you're clearly very excited, and I'm super interested to see how much your fanboyishness allows this movie to be garbage, because when I saw the trailer, I had a completely different take, and it was, this movie's gonna be trash. But I'm still gonna watch it because I'm already paying for HBO Max, so I'm totally down to watch it. And it's not like I dislike watching people kick the shit out of each other, so I'm okay with it. And that one scene where the guy like makes a knife out of the dude's blood and stabs him with it, that's pretty cool.
And then you see Goro, the four-armed dude.
Yeah. So that's something.
Yeah, I think there's a new character too that's played by Louis Tan.
Yeah, I read that they decided to bring in a brand new character that wasn't in any of the games, so he could be the protagonist that moves the story forward, and he gets kind of sucked into this weird like world of superhero fighting.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to revolve around him, and then he's going to be Shao Kahn. And I'm just kidding. That's just me guessing.
I don't know, man. If you say so, I believe you.
That's my theory. He becomes Shao Kahn, and then Shao Kahn is the main bad guy in part 2.
Nice. Okay, there you go. So that's all I had for HBO Max. But I do have a few other TV tidbits until we move, before we move on to our trailers. The CW is making the CW, the channel I don't ever watch, but I might watch this. They're making a live action Powerpuff Girls show.
I thought we like talked about this once. We
must have talked about it offline because I have it on my list, and I don't, unless I left it over from last time. Did I? I don't think so.
Maybe.
I think it was offline.
Maybe it's offline, yeah. But I swear we talked about this.
Well, what's my question then, Mike Moore? Here's my question for you: when they go live action Powerpuff Girls, is it gonna be cutesy girls, or are they gonna go with hots?
Hots. I mean, if you look at like the CW shows, right? For example, Riverdale, which is based on Archie, right?
Right.
Yeah, a bunch of hots. Comics.
Yeah, well, I might watch a bunch of hots play the Powerpuff Girls. Then that's okay with me as long as they do it right, I guess.
Because I thought that the whole story behind it, it's after the superhero stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they're all grown up. They're like, you know what? Our dad used that sort of thing, and now we're just emo teenagers.
So it's teeny bopper Powerpuff. It's Powerpuff teens rather, or maybe Powerpuff young ladies. I don't know.
Yeah.
My other TV tidbit: did you know that Brooklyn Nine-Nine is ending? It's coming to an end. Season 8 is going to be its last, so it'll be the last time we hear "hot damn." I just wanted to do that. So
yeah, I got advertised. I'm like, what? So I actually need to catch up on that show.
Oh, I love it. It's been solid all the way through. So if you're not watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, jump on it. Andy Samberg's the boss. He's so good. Do you still have Apple TV?
Yeah, I just never use it.
Okay. Did you watch season 1 of The Servant?
Yeah.
Did you know season 2 is on?
It is?
Yes.
What
So
the
here's the deal, dude. We gotta get back on this because remember how we love to review this creepy ass show? We need to
Yeah.
get back on it. So, my wife got a new phone, and with her new phone came another free year of Apple TV.
Yeah.
So we just let the other one expire because I'm not paying money for that garbage. Because we watched Ted Lasso was the last thing we watched, and we said forget it. And then she goes, "Hey, I got another free year of Apple TV." I'm like, "Okay, let's log in and see what there is." So we logged in. I'm like, "Oh shiz, season 2 of The Servant." So we started watching, and I can tell you, it's just as weird and creepy as the first season. And they've kind of they've changed who you think the bad guys are now, because you have a very at the end of the first season, you're like, those are the bad guys, they're evil. And then as the season 2 progresses, you're like, hold on, maybe these people are the bad guys.
Freaking M. Night, man.
Freaking Shyamalan and all of us.
How many
But yes.
episodes are out?
So we've watched 6 episodes. I think 7 are out, and I think it's a 10 episode season.
Wait, we've been behind that long?
Yeah, but it's easy to catch up. I don't know if you remember, they're only half-hour episodes. So the wifey and I have been watching 3 a night, so it doesn't take any time to catch up. So we've been watching it for a couple nights, and it's still beautifully shot. The plot's a little weird, but the whole damn show was real weird. If you're gonna watch anything on Apple TV, you watch Ted Lasso and you watch The Servant. Everything else is hot garbage.
I got advertised saying telling me that you could have Apple TV on your other devices now too.
Really?
Like PlayStation or Xbox or
Oh,
stuff
well,
like
we
that.
we watch Apple TV on our Roku, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Because before I had to like plug in my phone to my TV to watch.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's nice that all the apps that I use now are on the Roku. It makes my life a lot easier.
Yeah, I always thought that show would be better just to watch the whole thing because it makes you wait every week to see what happens. Like, this is so stupid.
Yeah, but do you remember what we talked about that shocked us when we learned about the first season? They said it's going to be a 7-season arc. So even if you make it through this 2 season, even if you make it through this season, you still got 5 seasons left. Because he wanted 50 episodes or some shit, or 70 episodes. It was like incredibly long.
It could have been one movie in night.
Yeah, I know. Well, drag it out. Apple doesn't have anything else going on.
Yeah.
My last TV tidbit before we get into the tasty trailers is: did you ever play the video game Twisted Metal?
The car one?
Yeah, it was like it was like a destruction derby type video game, and it had all sorts of weird characters driving the cars. It was like if Mortal Kombat was a destruction derby car game, is what it was. It was actually very popular on the PlayStation 1, and I think they tried again on the PS2, but it kind of just faded away after that. Well, they're making a Twisted Metal TV series that's starring Will Arnett and Job. I've made a huge mistake.
Himself.
Batman. Twisted Metal, but he's actually playing the clown, and so I do believe it doesn't. I really tried to read more about it, and I think it's an animated series. So
it should be, right?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. But yeah, it's going to be adult-oriented animated series based on the video game Twisted Metal. So I'm kind of interested. I don't know if the word would be excited, but I'm interested in it.
I think I was kind of scared when I was young because I watched this one movie where the trucks were like possessed or something, and they're chasing people. You seen that movie?
Is that movie Overdrive?
Maybe.
Yeah, I remember a movie like that called Overdrive. It was a Stephen King film, I think.
Yeah, and as a kid, I was like, man, it's so scary.
Maximum Overdrive, right? And there's the one scene because like the trucks are killing people, but also like all the machines have come to life because the one lady gets absolutely killed by the soda machine shooting pop at her.
Man, I had a bad childhood.
Yeah, I don't know. If that's your bad childhood, everybody else who's listening is like, God damn this guy.
All right. Before we go to the tasty trailers, I watched the first episode of Young Rock.
Oh, you know what? I watched it at lunch after you told me about it, and I totally forgot to put it on my list. So let's talk about Young Rock. You go first. Give us your opinions.
I'm a big fan of The Rock. Big fan of Random Park.
Me too.
So I'm very biased.
That's okay.
So I enjoyed it. It was very interesting how they attempt to do this show.
Why don't you tell everybody how it works?
I feel like it's a movie. It's a show within the show, right?
Right.
And it takes place like in the future where The Rock is doing his presidential campaign.
Running for president
Yeah.
in 2032.
Dwayne Johnson 2032.
Yes.
And so Randall Park, playing Randall Park, interviews The Rock in the show. And then once he tells about his story, his childhood and stuff like that, they flash back into the acting portion of his childhood.
And it's kind of cool how they don't just like flash back to one era. It's like, at least in the first episode alone, they cut back to him as a little kid, a middle schooler, and then like a college guy, or a high schooler and a college guy.
Yeah.
So they give you different eras of The Rock. So you see like 4 versions of The Rock. You see the real Rock, then you see 3 different age groups of The Rock, which I thought was kind of a clever way to do it. And to point out, I love that Randall Park at one point says that he is Randall Park and he gave up acting to become a newscaster. He goes, I'm very excited. You just can't tell because I'm such a good actor.
It kind of took you off because you're like, wait, oh, this is 30 years in the future.
Right. Yeah. Neither one of them have aged.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very interesting way of how to tell his story. So I'm looking forward to watching more of it.
Yeah. And I thought for network TV, it was pretty decent. It's not amazing. For me, I'd probably give it like somewhere between a 6 and a 7 as far as my rating goes, because I enjoyed it enough to want to keep watching. It's better than average, especially for network TV.
Yeah. And he has a lot of interesting stories about Andre the Giant. So
yeah, and I liked how they were like talking about real wrestlers, the Iron Sheik, Andre the Giant. And I thought the actors they got were pretty good too. Even though that guy didn't look like Andre the Giant, they did an amazing job of making him look huge like Andre the Giant. I thought that was pretty cool. And the other thing is, like, as soon as I saw the story, I'm like, okay, now I've seen the episode. There's no way this is actually what happened to The Rock. So I did some researching, and it turns out it was actually pretty accurate.
really?
So the whole plot of the latter part of that episode was him buying a car and ending up with a homeless guy in the backseat. That really happened.
Wow.
In real life. Yeah.
What was his name again?
Waffle.
Waffle.
So R.I.P. Raffle. But the funny thing is they changed the actual story because the real story is a little darker. So the real story, The Rock says he was 15 years old in New Orleans, and he was bar hopping because he was such a big, mature looking guy. Nobody questioned it. He went out and he bought a car off of a crackhead. And in the show, it's just a homeless guy. It's not crackhead, and he's working at a pizza parlor. So he buys his car off a crackhead for $35. And so as he's driving, the other crackhead pops up. Apparently that's completely real, but the crackhead, what's good in real life, did not die like the poor homeless guy in the show.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I thought it was kind of interesting because when I saw it, I'm like, no way this happened. It's completely fictional. So it was only like, I don't know, 20% fabricated. The rest of it was real.
They had to make it safe for TV.
Yeah, it's network TV. That's the key. He should have pushed for the show to end up on one of these streaming networks because he probably could have made it way better.
HBO, man, you're on Ballers.
Yeah, he's worked with HBO. So let's take a quick break, and on the flip side of the break, we'll do our tasty trailers and our news jacuzzi. We'll see you guys on the flip side. Need affordable graphic design? VisualanteDesign.com should be your first stop. High quality work at low prices. Perfect for every need from corporate to personal. Visit VisualanteDesign.com now and request your free quote. And for a limited time, mention Audionots for 10% off your first project. And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Tasty Trailer segment. You know what? I think I forgot to send you the trailers, so you may not have seen all these. I got so worked up, I forgot about it.
Oh yeah, because your video is not 4K anymore.
I know. So hopefully you've seen some of these. If you haven't, we'll go through them fairly quickly, and you can watch them later.
Okay.
The first one I have is a Hulu original movie called Boss Level. And I think we may have talked about Boss Level a long time ago when they first introduced the concept of it. But it stars our new favorite actor, Frank Grillo, because I believe he was in a Tasty trailer last episode.
Oh, yeah.
And the one and only Mel Gibson and Naomi Watts. Now, I'm going to tell you about this. So I was like, wow, I like the concept or the title. It sounds like it's a video game movie, Boss Level. But what it is, It's our favorite genre, the repeating day movie.
No.
So it's like the most like I was really shocked that they're making another goddamn repeating day movie. I heard about another repeating day movie. Maybe we'll mention on another episode too on Netflix. That's a comedy. But so this repeating day movie, Frank Grillo is a tough guy that pisses off the bad guy who is Mel Gibson, and he sends his thugs in at the beginning to kill Frankie, and they kill him the first time, but then he wakes up like they always do, and they kind of show you through the trailer as how he gets super used to everything happening, and he's like just dodging the bullets and doing all these things until he works his way up to the boss level to finally face off with Mel Gibson.
It's
And
kind of
Naomi
funny.
Watts. Yeah, it looks kind of decent for a Hulu movie. But Naomi Watts, I think, is the lady interest. You know, she's the love interest in this, and it comes out on March 5th. So we'll see. I don't know. It's pretty soon. My second trailer is for a movie called Happily. Happily stars Joel McHale, Carrie Bichet, Stephen Root, Natalie Morales, Paul Scheer, and Natalie Zia. And Happily comes out on VOD on the 19th. Let's see.
Oh, I have not seen this.
Yeah, Happily is kind of a shoot, man. I didn't write down the synopsis, and I've had this since last week. That's how much it stuck with me. Let me see.
It says a dark romantic comedy. Tom and Janet have been happily married for years, but a visit from the mysterious stranger leads to a dead body, a lot of questions, and a tense couple's trip, and friends who may not actually be friends at all.
Yeah, they're like on like it looks kind of. I just remember like the only thing I even remember from the trailer being really funny is they're in like this house. They're stuck in this house, or there's something about this house and this guy. There's like an electric fence he tries to jump over, and it like shocks him into a car. And I thought that was pretty funny. But otherwise, it looks like it's a really dark, humorous take on like death and relationships.
Is it like a thriller too?
It's like a comedy action sort of thriller. You know what it reminded me of a little bit? And so maybe you'd be more interested. It kind of reminded me tonally of Game Night.
No way. Game Night was hilarious.
You know, they're telling jokes, but there's a death and they're trying to get around the thing. So it's sort of like that. So it's like a poor man's Game Night. I'm not saying it's nearly as good as you think Game Night is, but that's the idea. And then of course my last trailer is the other big one other than Mortal Kombat that came out was the new Cruella trailer came out starring Emma Stone. It says here Emma Stone was born to be bad in this first ever trailer for Cruella, which releases on May 28th, which is actually pretty soon. I'm curious if this is going to be a theater movie or if Disney's going to send it to Disney Plus. It almost looks like their version. It's like if Disney said, let's make a Joker movie and make it about Cruella.
Yeah, after watching, I'm like, this is like Disney's version of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's like they're doing kind of like a cool, dark version of this character we've all kind of known for a while, and they try to make us get to know her more, her origin story.
Yeah, she doesn't have powers, right?
I don't think so. Like I can see why
That
you
one
might
scene?
think. Yeah, the scene where her dress like burns up. So I'm hoping that they like explain how that happens
And her hair changed too, I think.
Yeah, I think maybe it's all heat related somehow. I don't know. As far as I know, Cruella does not have powers. It would be real weird if all of a sudden she was like some sort of super villain. Because as far as I know, she was just like a dog napping, coat wearing weirdo.
And Emma Stone has an accent there, right?
Yeah, her voice sounds amazing. I'm deeply in love with Emma Stone, so I'm totally down for Cruella. In fact, I'm kind of buying the look. It's working for me. So Cruella DeVille, let's go.
It's kind of like how Margot, you need to be Carly, and you're like Emma, just stay Cruella.
Yeah, you just stay Cruella. So I'm waiting for those cosplays. That's gonna be pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. I'm interested. I'll watch it. I don't know if I'd go to the theater and watch it, but if it becomes one that you can get eventually on Disney Plus fairly soon afterwards, I'm down. As long as I don't have to pay $30.
So you won't pay 30 for it?
No, no way. I'm not gonna pay. I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna pay $30 for anything on Disney Plus unless it's got the word Star Wars or Marvel in it. That's the only way. Like if they
Fair
came right
enough.
now and said $30 for Black Widow, I'd probably do it just because we've been waiting for this movie forever. I'm not even into that movie that much, but still less than the $50 I'd pay to go to the theater.
Yeah, if $30, I still wouldn't buy.
You wouldn't buy Black Widow?
No.
Yeah, that's fair. Would you buy Mortal Kombat if it was $30? Oh, he
No.
draws the
No.
line. I like it. Good, good.
No, it's funny because our buddy, he's gonna get HBO Max for March,
Okay.
right? To watch Snyder Cut and Godzilla versus Kong.
Okay, yeah.
And then now that Mortal Kombat is coming out in April, he said he's gonna extend his thing until April. So they got it for
he
2
doesn't
months.
realize they just made him into a subscriber.
Yeah.
And as soon as that one's over, a new one will come out and be like, oh man, I kind of want to see that one too.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you've been having HBO Max for a couple of years.
So you should have just grab him when it was cheap, like me.
Yeah, yeah. I just bought in when it was cheap. And
Yeah.
grandfathered in. Let's go. So, what can you do? On the superhero tip, we're going to dip our toes in the news jacuzzi. So the first story on the superhero tip is Tom Holland. You know, Mr. Tom Holland, Spider-Man himself, came out and said Spider-Man 3 will not feature Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield. We've talked a lot about that recently in the hopes that this was going to be part of the multiverse, and people kept claiming that they had shots of them. And do you think this is real? Or do you think they've just told him to say that because he always releases, information he's not supposed to?
Yeah, he's a spoiler king, man.
Yeah. So do you think that they fed him fake news, or they've asked him to feed us fake news, or do you think he's being legit and we don't get all the Spider-Mans?
I want to believe that he's giving us fake news.
I hope so, because that was such a cool idea, especially now that we've seen that they're not afraid to do multiverse stuff.
Yeah.
But it kind of came out of nowhere where he said, hey, yeah, we're not doing this.
Maybe he's waiting for like Spider-Man 4 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he said they're not going to be in that movie because they're all going to be in Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
So, yeah. So the next piece of news has to do with the video game too. One I know for a fact you
Damn.
really enjoy.
Whoa.
They have cast Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey as Joel and Ellie in the HBO's The Last of Us TV series. Do you like that casting? Are you excited about it? Because I honestly know nothing about this video game.
Honestly, if it was me, I'd rather cast Jamie Lannister, whatever his name is,
Right.
as Joel. He looks just like Joel.
Yeah.
And then I think right now Hollywood has the hots for Pedro.
He's really hot right now. Yeah.
That's why he got the part.
He's a good actor. He'll probably do a good job with it. And you're still getting 2 Game of Thrones cast members. That's all you were looking for.
Yeah.
And that girl, if anybody doesn't remember, Bella Ramsey what was her name in Game of Thrones? But she was the little badass, like
North Queen
lady, whatever her name was. And she's like, I stand with the North,
Yeah.
She was awesome. She's a great little actress.
It's good. I like her casting because Ellie in the show in the game, she's a total BA too. So
nice.
They needed to get a BA to get her.
Does the characters have accents, or are they gonna have to have American accents?
American accent.
Okay, so I'd be interested to see how well she pulls off an American accent. Unless they change it. I mean, they always could.
Yeah, because like at the very beginning, the outbreak happens, right?
Yeah.
And you see everybody dying, and then it flashes forward to like 20 years later or something like that.
It's a zombie thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
To where Joel is older.
Is Joel her father?
No, Joel's her transporter.
Because she's special because she doesn't get zombified or something.
You just have to watch it, man. I don't ruin anything for you.
Well, I don't know. I know you know the information because you were really into that game. I remember.
Yeah, I know the story. I could ruin it for you if you want. But
no, it's okay.
Yeah.
I was just trying to suss it out because I don't know.
Yeah, so basically it's like Logan.
Okay.
I want you to bring this girl from point A to point B, and we're gonna fight zombies on the way.
Cool. No, I'm down. I'm down for it. I think we have a while before it comes out, but I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah.
My next story says scientists teach pigs how to play video games, and guess what? The pigs are pretty good at it.
Wow.
says Hamlet, Omelette, Ebony, and Ivory. Amazing names for these pigs, by the way. Oh, aren't rescuing Princess Peach just yet, but they did show a remarkable ability to play and operate video games. Yorkshire Pigs, Hammer, blah, blah, blah. The quartet was focused on a study that tested whether they could learn to play a video game. Spoiler alert, they could, and they were good at it. Purdue Animal Behavior Specialist Candice Croney and chimpanzee cognition expert Sarah Boysen co-authored the study of pigs on Thursday. The study chronicles the experiment to investigate the cognitive processes such as memory, attention, and conceptualization of farm animals. So they basically had these pigs operate a joystick with their mouth, and they would bite on it, and they would go through mazes and do really basic tasks and things like that with the screen that was in front of them. And then if they did it properly, they would be rewarded with food.
That'll do, pig. That'll do. Dude, it's gonna be plan to have the pork.
What's amazing about it is pigs, they've always talked about how smart they are, and it's always made me feel like you hear like two animals that always make me feel bad because they're so goddamn delicious: pigs and octopus. And I don't know why they have to taste so good.
They're so smart.
Yeah, maybe their smarts make them taste delicious. I never used to be a big bacon guy, but ever since I got into keto, my taste buds have kind of adapted, and I really like me some bacon now. And I feel a little bit bad every time I'm enjoying a piece of delicious bacon, especially now that I know I could be just gaming with one of these guys.
Wait a minute. You say you don't really like seafood?
Oh, I like calamari, and I like anything fried. So it's in the same neighborhood.
I still want to try those. Like you go to Japan and try one of those alive ones. There's like still moving.
They're still moving on the plate.
Go eat it up.
Well, that sounds gross, but you want to hear something else? My next news story might gross you out even more. Do you like steak? Do you love a good, juicy steak?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, right? Would you like a 3D printed steak?
Wait a minute. How does that work?
I know. How does that work? An Israeli startup is 3D printing cultured ribeye steaks. The market for meat alternatives is booming, but so far most products are only able to replicate the formless ground meat such as burgers, sausages, and nuggets. The world's first 3D printed steak may be set to change that. So this company's figured out how to they're using vegetables. So the steak is not steak at all, but it's made from vegetable proteins and things like that. And the same stuff that they smash into nuggets and burgers, like the Impossible Burger, they're able to use the same idea as when you 3D print a piece of plastic or metal now that they have, and they print these steaks. And so they already got them out there. They're building them. They got a $23 million influx of capital. So I'm gonna look up this. We should look up these guys for our stock watch and see, because they're starting to place these in restaurants, so you can order stuff and it prints the steak. And they say that it cuts, the texture, everything is just like a real steak. Like, it's really hard to tell the difference.
Like even the juice? How does that work?
Yeah, got me, man.
A little spray.
Yeah. It looks pretty amazing.
So what is this company called? Maybe we should invest
in the company. Yes, we should invest in it. The company is called, hold on, let's do a little research here. Hold on. I'm looking. How come it's not obvious? Okay, here we go. Alif Farms. So advances in 3D printing may be set to change. Last week, Israeli startup Alif Farms unveiled the first lab-grown ribeye steak using their proprietary bioprinting process, which they say will eventually allow them to recreate any cut of meat. The technology, developed in tandem with Israel's Technion University, is similar to what's being used in medical research to print organoids. I think we talked about organoids at one point. For drug testing, which one day could let us regrow entire organs from human cells. Using this device, they're similar to inkjet printers. The company lays down layers of support cells, fat cells, blood cells, muscle cells that are placed in an incubator to grow the finished steak. That's crazy. Craziest thing I've ever heard.
Well, how do you spell this company's name?
It is spelled Aleph Farms.
ALEPH.
ALEPH Farms.
Man, I feel like we need to invest in this and let it grow. And once like it grows, we're like, oh shit, we're millionaires.
Yeah, this could be our Tesla. Is it on the thing? We have to find out if it's even on the
Oh,
thing.
let me open up my app.
Yeah, you look on your app. I'm gonna start talking about our next story because I gotta wrap up because my battery. I had to use a different computer because Kid Danger's computer had a password and he's at football practice, and so I couldn't get into it. So I had to hook up my laptop, and he's got so many things plugged, and I wasn't sure what I could unplug. So I'm running off battery power, and I'm so low on my battery power. Oh, 2%. So I got 2% worth of hot
Oh my
news,
God,
but
you better
luckily I've
do
only got
quick.
one story left.
Okay.
Lionsgate has announced that Jack Black will be joining the crowded cast of Eli Roth's Borderlands, another video game thing. Video games are hot right now.
I know.
As a robot claptrap, he joins Kate Blanchett, Kevin Hart, and Jamie Lee Curtis in the adaptation of the best-selling video game. Have you ever played Borderlands? I've never even played it.
No, that's star-studded cast though.
Yeah, right? Isn't that a huge cast?
I never played
saw that.
Borderlands myself.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one. I like everybody involved, you know. So I don't know that I have too much to tell everybody, but maybe do some research on whether or not this is gonna be a good movie or not. I have to play the video game. I guess it's an open world shooter or something. I've never even played it. All I know for Borderlands is that one photo you always see of like the weird like guy with the mask on doing like looking to shoot himself.
Cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Did you find out why we were talking about Borderlands, whether or not that was on? Can we invest in it? How much is it per share?
Oh, I couldn't find it.
Oh, dang.
Because
Maybe it's Israeli.
I think Beyond Meat shot up once they like partner up with like Burger King, whatever, or Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
So it could be like the next Beyond Meat.
Yes. All right. So we're gonna leave everybody with those hot stock tips. Do you have anything else you want to add in before my 2% goes down to 0?
If you want free stocks on Robinhood, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
Link me down low.
Take advantage. Absolutely.
You get a stock. I get a stock.
Everyone gets a stock.
Everyone gets a stock. Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. Nice. Okay. With that, we shall bid you all adieu, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Show me what you got.